He had every resource, every opportunity, every reason to succeed, and he had done nothing with any of it. Nobody talks about this kind of weakness. It does not look dramatic. It looks like an ordinary Tuesday.
6 hours, nearly 7, gone, every single day. And he called it resting.
There is a version of you that is waiting, patient, furious, wondering when you will finally show up. A weak mind does not announce itself. It whispers. It makes excuses. It looks away from mirrors.
He used to be the one everyone expected great things from. That memory now felt like someone else's life.
He had been meaning to call back for 3 weeks. That is the architecture of a shrinking life. He heard them and felt something twist inside him. Not inspiration yet, just the pain of recognizing what he was not doing.
He watched men building in the rain and felt an unfamiliar feeling rising. Something older than excuses.
That night, something inside him stopped making noise and started getting honest. That is where it begins.
Question that changes everything is never comfortable. He wrote it anyway and waited for the truth. Every excuse he had ever made was protecting the same thing, his fear of discovering his own limits. His brother said nothing for almost a minute. Then he said,
The fear is not the problem. Believing it is. Every person who built something real went through that dip. You have been refusing to enter it.
He made a decision in that reflection, not a dramatic one, a quiet, firm, non-negotiable one. Showing up before you feel ready is the first act of a strong mind. He showed up.
bad first drafts are not failure. They are the price of entry. Most people never pay it. The first real test came at 7 p.m. on a Friday. His friends called. The old life called. He paused.
Every no to distraction is a yes to something more important. He was learning to choose differently.
The feeling after doing hard work is not always pride. Sometimes it is just quiet. That quiet is enough.
The mind will always negotiate with you in the first 5 seconds. Win those 5 seconds every day.
He ran not because he loved it. He ran because soft bodies produce soft thinking. He had learned that.
The body woke the mind. The mind got to work. That sequence changed the entire shape of his days.
Every creative process has a wall. Weak minds stop here. Strong minds sit down and wait it out.
He learned to write through the wall instead of retreating from it. The wall thinned and finally broke.
On the other side of every wall is clarity. But you have to sit with the discomfort long enough to reach it.
Sorry I missed your call.
I know you are figuring things out.
He called his mother back. Small act. But a man rebuilding himself starts with the small accountabilities.
We're rebuilding the entire framework from scratch. It's complex, but it's the only way forward.
He heard his own voice change as he described his work.
He picked up the guitar. Not to be great. To stop abandoning things before they could become something.
The graveyard of unstarted ideas is the saddest place a person can spend their private moments. He cleared the graveyard. One focus. One direction. A weak mind scatters. A strong mind narrows.
See, I told you.
The criticism arrived exactly when his confidence was smallest. The timing was designed to destroy momentum. He asked himself the only question that mattered. Not what they thought. What he knew to be true.
Real and mine. 2 words that immunize a man against other people's noise and opinion.
A strong mind does not ignore all feedback. It filters. It takes the one useful thing and discards the rest. He learned that progress is always invisible, until suddenly it is not. You must trust the invisible phase.
He studied men who had been through worse. Not to feel better about himself, the fee, to see what was actually possible. Mental toughness is not enjoying the storm.
It is deciding that the storm does not get to move you. Knowing your weaknesses is not weakness. Refusing to look at them honestly, that is the real weakness. He named his pattern. Naming a pattern breaks its power. It can no longer operate in the dark.
When you want to quit, set a timer for 15 minutes. In 15 minutes, the mind catches up to the body.
His best work came after he wanted to stop. That is true for almost every man who ever built anything.
Showing your real work to someone you respect is one of the most vulnerable and necessary acts of growth. The right person's honest words at the right moment can unlock what months of effort could not.
He started walking without his phone, 40 minutes a day with only his own thoughts. Uncomfortable, necessary. A quiet mind is not an empty mind, it is a focused one. Silence is where strong thinking is born. He trained himself to do the uncomfortable thing first every morning. It set the tone for every hour after.
Progress is best seen looking backward. Looking forward, you only see how far you have left to go.
Competence builds confidence, and confidence builds momentum, and momentum is nearly unstoppable.
He did not look down on them. He had been them. He just knew now what that comfort was costing.
Most people cannot sit in silence for 5 minutes. That inability is the enemy living inside the mind.
Clarity does not arrive before you start. It arrives because you started. Motion creates vision.
The first feeling is almost always wrong. Fear dressed as reason. Comfort dressed as wisdom.
A man who has nothing to prove works differently from a man who is performing. The difference is visible.
He wrote the word done for the first time in years. It felt foreign. It felt like freedom. I knew. Finishing something is not just completing a task. It is proving something to yourself that nobody else can prove.
A strong mind does not rest at a milestone. It looks at what is next with curiosity, not dread. The shadow and the man were becoming the same person. That is what doing the work actually looks like.
He wrote to the man who used to live in his apartment and left him one instruction: stop wasting the life you have.
He stopped watching life from a distance. He was ready to enter it, completely, deliberately, without excuses. Publishing meant being wrong in public. That terrified him. He did it anyway. That was the whole point. Responses came, some warm, some critical. He read every one with the same calm. That was new.
He did not wait to be told it was good before starting the next one. That is the difference between creators and consumers.
Then something arrived that was bigger than anything he had prepared for. And the fear returned immediately.
You are not ready. He read his own rule back to himself. The rule he had written for exactly this moment.
He replied like a man who respected his own work. Not arrogance, self-possession. They are not the same thing.
He showed up prepared and present.
Not performing confidence, operating from it. The room could feel the difference.
The right collaboration multiplies what one disciplined mind can do. But discipline had to come first.
He passed the same construction site. The building had grown. So had he. Both took consistent daily effort.
Someone asked him how he trained his mind. He said, "I stopped letting it make the decisions without me."
His brother looked at him across the table and said nothing. That silence said everything that needed to be said.
He kept returning to unfinished things, not obsessively, methodically. Closing every open loop builds mental clarity. The graveyard became a workshop. Everything that had collected dust was either finished or deliberately released. He no longer needed noise to fill the silence. The silence was where he now did his best thinking.
One honest question asked in a moment of exhaustion had started a chain reaction that rebuilt him.
A weak mind is a fractured one, scattered across comfort, fear, and noise. A strong mind is unified.
He finished it, not because it was perfect, because he was no longer the man who left things unfinished.
Strong men are not men who find it easy. They are men who do it anyway, every single time.
A weak mind is not a life sentence. It is a starting point. Every strong mind began exactly where you are.
The hard truth about weak minds is this: they are only weak until the day you decide they are not.